All right, y'all. What's going on, man? It's your boy DP, and I have Golden Fit Nick on the podcast today. But before we get started, this podcast is brought to you guys by the Heat Challenge. The Heat Challenge is a 6-week fitness transformation challenge built to help you develop lasting nutrition and exercise habits. Over the course of 6 weeks, 5 winners with the most significant transformation will be paid $5,000 each, totaling $25,000. Yes, that's right. I said $25,000. You can sign up today by joining www.heatextreme.com. That's HeatXtreme.com to reserve your spot. Next challenge starts September 21st. Nick, what's going on?
Hey, DP, how are you?
I'm doing good. We had a little rough start this morning or this afternoon. But we are
right,
finally,
but we're back on track.
We're live. We're good to go. So, glad to have you. Thank you for jumping on this podcast. I know a lot of ladies from our platform are in love with you, with your body, with your workouts, with everything that you have going on. So, thank you for taking the time out your day to get on this podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
So, I do want to ask a few questions, and a lot of people probably have no idea like how we know each other, but there is something that also ties us together that I'm not sure if you remember. I had asked you this a while back, but we're both a part of a Greek organization. And I'm an iota and came to find out that you were also part of that as well. What college did you go to?
Yeah, so I went to Texas Southern University between 2004, 2008. And yes, I actually became an iota sweetheart. Gosh, that was back in 2007. Seems like so long ago.
Exactly.
Yes, I was like my boys' organization. I actually the Iotas on campus were like those are like brothers to me. Like they were just everything. Like they looked out for me. They took. I mean, they were just everything. Like still to this day, they're like my brothers. So, yes. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have not been to any organization like events or anything in so long. But
right. So yeah, man, we had some ties down the line, and I thought that was pretty dope because I forgot how I found that out. I think one of my brothers, I think we may have done a workout, and they're like, "Yeah, man, she's all sweet." I'm like, "Nah, I didn't know that." So yeah, it's pretty dope. And I've been. Let me see. I crossed in 2000. When did I cross? 2002. Was the year I crossed in Toledo, University of Toledo. So distant sands in the sense. But other than that, what got you into the whole fitness world?
Oh gosh. God, it seems like it's such a long story, but I'm gonna try to sum it up the best I can. So I was always playing sports. Like even from the time I was a kid, I was always a very active child. I always like playing, I grew up with 2 brothers. And so, playing basketball, I was like biggest tomboy. So playing basketball, running, kickball, everything. And it just kind of transcended into, as I got older and just played sports throughout school. I wasn't really into fitness per se. I was just more into sports, and people don't understand there's a huge difference between that.
Huge difference.
Yeah. And so I never really incorporated nutrition or, just the fundamentals of being fit and being, the fitness world. It wasn't until I would say it was like 2008. It was like right after I graduated college. I had to get a physical for a job. And I always say this was like my pivotal moment. So I had to get a physical for my job. And I never forget the doctor had told me, when he was like going over my vitals, he told me that, and this is in literally in quote, he said this word for word. He told me, he's like, "You're a little on the heavy side, but not too bad." And that was the first time.
Like, geez,
That was
thanks. I appreciate it.
right, right. But that was literally the first time I actually heard somebody call me heavy and slightly overweight. And I think at that time I was probably in the 180s, which again, I never really looked at myself as overweight or possibly overweight or out of shape just because, I always thought I was just thick. That's what we love to throw around, that term thick. And I just kind of like, I think I look good, whatever the case is. But I didn't realize how unhealthy I was. And then eventually I got an assessment. I found out my body fat percentage, which I was like close to like 30% body fat. I was just like, oh my gosh, like how did this happen? And that kind of started the journey of, I need to figure out this thing called fitness and what that looks like. I was terrified of the gym, but I still went, and I became a cardio queen. And so all I did was a bunch of cardio. I refused to go into the free weight section because I thought free weights were for professionals and for people who knew exactly what they were doing. And I was like, I'm just not going to go there. So eventually I just did all this cardio. I lost a lot of weight, but I still wasn't satisfied because I wanted tone. I wanted to be toned. I wanted muscle. I wanted definition. I had no clue how to get there. So
Mm-hmm.
I just had to throw myself in the gym and figure it out. And it's definitely been a journey. A lot of ups and downs. I've learned a lot, but I'm grateful for what I've learned.
So you said you were in sports or played sports. Like, what was the sports that you were into that you felt helped with uh, walking into the fitness world?
I played basketball and I did run track, but at the same time, even though I was playing sports, I wasn't healthy. I was
Mm-hmm.
eating fast food. I had no real understanding of nutrition. Like, even though I was still fast, I was still strong. I built a great sports aesthetic. I still was, I was still overweight. I mean,
Right.
from a fitness standpoint, I was still kind of, out of shape. I feel like if I would have understood fitness in my younger years, I probably would have done, performed way better than what I've performed. But I can't even say sports actually helped bring me into fitness. I really think it helped solidify a foundation of discipline,
Right.
because I learned discipline from having to get up at 4 a.m. to be at practice at 5 a.m. And that really helped. It helped solidify that foundation, but I had to really retrain my mind and understand what is fitness? What does it look like? What do I need to do?
Yeah,
So,
and I think as a prior athlete, and I definitely can relate to, I was always in basketball shape, and coming from out
mm-hmm.
of college and playing basketball in college, and I knew nothing, absolutely nothing about nutrition. They didn't teach us anything about it. I just knew before games, we always had to have some type of carbs. We always had to have some type
Carbs.
of protein, and that's all we knew. We just that was it.
Yep.
But as far as that, I was eating Whoppers and Big Macs
Mm-hmm.
like no other.
Yep.
So I was always in basketball shape, and that leads to what we were talking about before. There's a huge difference between being in sports shape or being physically ready for sports, and then a physique in training and and there's just a huge difference. And
Yep.
I always try to explain to people the difference between the two, but I also feel that there's a big correlation between uh, people who come from the sports world that move into the training world, or fitness world, with just how they approach the the challenges that fitness presents you, and when it comes to you show this on a regular basis, just the pushing through part, the when it hurts to keep going, you show that on a regular basis through on your videos. And I had, it was funny. I had one of my clients come up to me and she's like, I want to look like this girl. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, now you're gonna have to work, like and the funny thing, when we actually got done with her transformation, it was damn near close. She had real small waist, very thick legs, and I told her, I said, now you just have to keep this type of training up. Like this girl, it really hits it. She show you guys on a daily basis the intensity of her workouts. She's not afraid of weights at this point, and this, if this is the type of body that you're looking for, this is the type of aesthetics that you're looking for. You're gonna have to push through some type of pain. You're gonna have to go past your comfort zone, and I also feel like, when it comes from being in a sports background, that it also helps a lot with the presentation that you have, because you also do bring a lot of muscle memory to the platform. There's also a lot of muscle that's probably built up under fat that you've had that because nutrition wasn't a factor, that we just didn't see it just yet. So, I always explain to a lot of my clients that are just getting into the fitness world, and again, a lot of ladies that I have use you as their goals, their body goals. And I explained it, and I said, Nick probably came from, and this is now, I didn't know, that you had a sports background, but I would always say, I said, she's probably come from a background where she's had some type of sports or was doing something that she had some type of muscle growth during all this time. Now that fat that she had over her body is gone, and you guys are starting to see a lot of healthy long-term muscle. It wasn't like she just started and 2 months later or 3 months later, all this just body banging body just came. Like, now there's that body was here. She probably just had some fat over it, and this is what you guys are seeing now. But do you get those type of questions of, how do you get your waist small? How do you get the big legs? Like, what type of feedback do you have for ladies that are attempting to or wanting to be goals of you?
Right. And you brought some great points. One thing, I try to be as transparent as possible. I let the women who are supporters of me know that I did come from a sports background, that, this wasn't something where I just woke up one day and just decided, hey, I just want to all of a sudden learn how to work out and be fit.
Right.
Sports definitely played a huge factor in, like you said, building specific muscle memory. Also, I'm very transparent when it comes to genetics. I'm literally, my father, he was a track runner as well. And so I literally have his height, his legs, his physique as well. That kind of that toned track physique, naturally.
Right.
Yeah. And so I try to let them know, I try to let ladies know, you have to know what your natural body type is, because you can look at it. It's so easy to look up somebody on social media and say, I want to look like X, Y, this person, but not knowing that this person is a foot taller than you. It doesn't, maybe they're able to burn off body fat faster than you are. It's, maybe, for me, I'm more bottom heavy. Some people are more top heavy. I always try to keep that realistic standard. Like, you have to work for what your body type can go towards. Not everybody has the hourglass figure. I mean, you got to keep it real. Not everybody's naturally born with that hourglass figure, but still, it's not an excuse to not become a better version of yourself and to become healthy and be fit for the long term. So again, I try to be as transparent as possible and tell people, set realistic, goals and expectations for yourself.
And that's not to take anything away from the work that you put in, because I always like to reiterate that as well. Genetics do play, a factor in a lot of the influencers' physiques, but at the same time, they're still putting in this work to maintain and enhance what they were blessed with. And these are things I always try to explain to people, like, don't compare yourself to, if you're 4'11" and you're trying to look like somebody over here who's 5'7", and you don't have thick legs and they have thick legs, and she's, bottom heavy and you're top heavy. Like, that's not an easy, and that's not a realistic comparison. And, I always try to tell my ladies, like, look, you have to find somebody that looks like you. Do your research, go back, look what, and I get this all the time, from especially my ladies from my challenge. They're done with my 6-week program and they're like, well, I'm just not where I think I should be. And and then I ask the question, I'm like, well, how do you know where you should be if you've never been there before? And also, what makes you feel that after 6 weeks, you'll look like, and I'll use you for example, you'll look like Nick, and she's been doing this for probably 6 years. That's not a realistic comparison. And, that takes a lot of credit away from you. Like, like, she's been doing this for 6 years, and you think after 6 weeks that you're going to look like that? Like, no, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get you on the roll. I'm trying to get you started. I'm trying to show you the things that she's doing. I'm trying to show you the discipline, the commitment, the sacrifices that she's making. And each year, and I'm going to ask this, I would think, from my professional standpoint, that you look better now than you did last year. And then you look better last year than you did the previous year. It's not a couple of weeks. It's each year your muscles mature more. They start forming differently. You start looking better and better each year. And I always just try to encourage my ladies, like, yeah, I can show you how to lose a ton of weight and drop a whole bunch in 6 weeks. But if you have never worked out before, if this is your first time, there's some, we got to get some years up under our belt. And that's not to discourage anybody, but that's why, we always try to, express to people, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
It's stuff that you're showing every single day, day in, day out. And it's not just a temporary workout or a temporary diet. Like, if you want this body banging that Nick has, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. You got to eat the food, and you have to do it all the time, and I just, I love to express that to my ladies, and, and it's definitely good to hear that you also are very transparent with them as well, when they're asking these types of questions and trying to get this type of information to figure out, which way they want to go or how they should go about their fitness journey.
Absolutely.
Other than that, how did you ever start seeing transaction on your social media account? Like, when did you start first seeing, like, people are really interested in what you're doing? Did you ever think that, fitness would be this big of a impact that you're having on the ladies? Like, when did you start seeing or noticing, like, people are really starting to pay attention to what I'm doing?
Right. Honestly, I was someone who kind of strayed away from social media. Just mostly because maybe I just wasn't comfortable with it. And I think I've had my Instagram account for like about 4 years now. But my friend, of course, my friend Nicole. We know her, Destiny, Miss Nicole Fit. Well, she's not Miss Nicole Fit. Yeah. So it was actually. It was actually her who was encouraging me. She was like, you need to start once you get on Instagram, she was already on Instagram. She's like, you should get on Instagram. I was just like, nah. And I was just kind of like, what's the point? And then I was like, you know what? I don't mind showcasing fitness. I mean, it's something I love to do. And so let's just see how it goes. I just created one, Golden Fit Nick. It's just a random Instagram name and, started posting. But no, I did not expect anything. I wasn't expecting to reach as many women as I've reached. I mean, all over the world. I can't even just say in the US. I mean, all over the world. I get messages from, I mean, it's insane the messages I get from just different countries and, of women who's just inspired by my videos. And, it wasn't something I was trying to do. It just kind of happened. And I really believe it's because, of how transparent I've been with my fitness. I've always been like how I train is something I just show. I'm like, this is what I look like when I train. I'm grunting. I'm sweaty. I look crazy. My hair is all over the place. It hurts. I'm exhausted, but I knew I wanted to show that this is not easy, but it's possible. And it was more so showing, giving, documenting my own transformation journey. But at the same time, I was not expecting, that it would reach so many individuals and actually help jumpstart other women to want to become better versions of themselves. But I'm very humble. I mean, it's a blessing. And I'm grateful that, my platform has been able to reach and inspire so many women. I still get messages to this day of women who are saying, because of your videos, I've lost 50 pounds or I lost 30 pounds. Whenever I'm feeling discouraged, I just click on your platform and it motivates me to keep going. And again, I'm just so humbled and I'm grateful that it's helping anybody.
So what made you say, okay, because I know you said earlier, you were shying away from the free weights. You're like, nah, that's for the professionals. I'm gonna stay over here and do this cardio. What made you say, you know what, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna pick up some weights, and then what made you say, I'm not gonna pick up the little weights, I'm gonna hang with the big guys. I'm over here and I'm gonna pick up some heavyweight. Where did that transition come in at?
I can honestly say what first initially made me go into the free weight section, which I say conquered my fear, because I honestly had a fear of going over to like free weight dumbbells. I don't know what it was about that section, that just terrified me. And I just felt like I was going to look stupid. I was going to hurt myself. But I never forget, this was maybe about 5-6 years ago. I would say about 6 years ago. There was a gym that I was a part of, where I used to live. And there was this one chick this little petite little thing, but she was so fit. And she was like I mean, just teeny tiny, but just muscle fit girl. And I would always see her running, and she would run from wherever she lived to the gym and go straight to the free weight section. And she literally had no fear, no intimidation. She didn't care what he knew. Something about her confidence was I was so intrigued and in awe of, and I was like, wow, I don't know who this chick is, but she is so confident in her stature, her fitness, what she's doing. She literally has this I don't give a F attitude, and would go to the freeway section and just kill it. And I just remember saying, I want to do the same thing. And so there were times where I would just see her over there and I would just start going over there because she was over there. And I would kind of mimic the stuff she would do. So if she was doing the lateral pull down, I would kind of go next to her and kind of do she probably, I probably, I know I sound like a weird stalker, but it was something. She probably has no clue, but I was literally her gym creeper. And so, but she would go and start doing some dumbbell, some presses or whatever the case, whatever she was doing, I would just kind of go to the side and mimic her. And so as I was kind of looking at her and trying to mimic her form, I noticed that my confidence started building, and I was like, oh, this free weight section is not bad. Like, I really thought that I was going to be like the laughing stock over here, but it's not. Okay. Okay. It's not bad. I get it. Okay. I'm going to do it. And so eventually I just, of course, stopped looking for her, and I just started going on my own and would just start practicing and figuring it out. And then I got to the point, there were people in the section. I would ask questions like, hey, I see you doing this specific exercise. Can you tell me what that works on? And they, a lot of people were very, they're nice. They would let me know like, oh, this is Arnold's. It works on front lateral or, front delts, whatever the case is. And, I would start educating myself. But as far as, and then I did segue into eventually going into the heavier weights. But it wasn't until I met my coach, Jerome, which a lot of people have seen him in my previous videos. I started going to his classes, and he was the one who really pushed me and challenged me to go further past my comfort zone, because I was that person who played it safe, like a lot of women do. We play it safe in the gym. Because when it comes to really pushing ourselves, going heavier, when it starts hurting, we automatically want to stop. And that's why I am an advocate for personal trainers, especially great personal trainers who do push you. So he was my trainer who, pretty much let me know like, hey, you already have a great aesthetic and it can be so amazing if you just do X, Y, and Z. So I just would follow his coaching, his formula, and it just like, I seen my body transform and transcend from there. And now it, like you said earlier, it's literally become a lifestyle. So how I train now, I think is just how I'll train from here on out.
There you go. So you guys heard it. You need to have, and I always tell, my clients and people who are on my platform to have a push partner. If you don't, they have us as coaches online. But I feel like you always need somebody who's going to be in your ear, who's going to push you, who's going to tell you, like you can do it. And who's just going to help motivate and keep you walking that tight line, to excellence. So it's good to hear that, you are a strong advocate of having a personal trainer and somebody who's going to push you outside of your comfort zone, because that's where the true success actually lies, is when you're out of your comfort zone. And it's funny. I say this to my people all the time, and I ask them, describe something comfortable in your house, and they're like, well, my bed. And then I'm like, well, what else is comfortable in your house? Oh, my couch. I'm like, all right, now what do those look like? Well, it's big, it's nice, it's fluffy, it's very cushiony. I'm like, now is that what you want to be? And they're like, nah.
Wow.
I said, exactly. Let me push you outside of that comfort zone. Let's get off of that couch. Let's get out of that bed. Let's get doing things that we aren't normally comfortable doing, so we can start looking or not looking like the things that we sit on and lay on all the time. So it's funny that you said, pushing people out of their comfort zone, because that's the correlation that I make, when I try to tell them I'm trying to get you guys out of your comfort zone. And when they start understanding what I mean by that, I use that analogy, and they're like, yeah, I don't want to look like a couch, nor my bed. So let me go ahead and start working out. Other than that, do you remember the first time we met, like in person? I do. You do.
Oh my God. And it was in Atlanta, right?
It was in Atlanta. You and Nicole had a class at my gym.
A class.
And yes. And I had, I couldn't stay the whole time. I had my son that was on daddy duty. But I came, made sure everything was good. You guys rocked it. I had lots of people take pictures and videos. And you guys had a very, very dope turnout. But that was my first time actually, meeting you in person. And I thought it was just pretty dope. I'm like, man, she's here. There's a lot of people at my gym that, come here. And there's people who didn't come to the gym who came out to support. And I think you guys had a hell of a turnout. Was that the first place you guys came to, or were you at places before then? Do you remember?
No, that was the first time we went to Atlanta and did an event. So yeah, the first time we did an Atlanta event was at your place, at your town.
Sweet, sweet. So, last thing, what? Give me 3 best pieces of advice for someone who's looking to become an influencer and come up in the fitness game. What 3 big pieces or 3 jewels you would say to somebody who's looking to be an influencer in the fitness world?
3 things. Okay. Well, my first thing it would be transparent. I think that is one thing that people love about my platform is the transparency. They're like, we love that you just are raw and real with what you do. You're not trying to be extra cute. Like you go to the gym, you look grungy and sweaty. I'm just like dang, am I looking a hot mess for real? But like, like, I mean, people say it as a compliment, but I'm just like, oh gosh, I must be looking terrible.
Wait a minute now. Hey, you get a little carried away with this.
Right.
Like, hold up.
But I love it because again, it's so many women who are just who reach out, like who'll send me DMs and they'll say, I appreciate that. Like, I don't have to be this cute doll in a gym in order to get, I'm here for results and I appreciate that. So I would say transparency is definitely one. Know your audience. Because when it comes to fitness, there's so many different levels of, or genres of fitness that people get into that you can be an influence of, and don't try to incorporate a space you're not comfortable with. Like me, I could never be a yoga person. I already struggle with stretching as is. So I could never go into a yoga space and try to be an influencer of yoga. That's just not me. So Exactly. If you're a runner, if you love Pilates or yoga or CrossFit, whatever it is, know your genre, know what you love to do, what you're passionate about, and stick to that. Third, this is one thing that people are going to have a hit and miss, especially when it comes to women. I believe in integrity, keeping your integrity when it comes to fitness. I really, the sad thing is I've seen a lot of women who are gorgeous. They're beautiful and, they love fitness. They kind of go a little different route and it kind of loses its savor. Yeah, it's a salt that loses its savor. And it's just kind of like, it's crazy because I'm like, wow, that's not who you were a year or 2 years ago. And so I think sometimes Instagram can be a trap. I ain't gonna lie, it can be a trap for some people. But try to know who you are and know your boundaries, keep your integrity, and just and be true to yourself and authentic for yourself. And that really does go a long way because people know. I mean, you can. People know. That's all I'm saying. People know. So,
yeah, they know. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because I try to, I have a lot of, like I said, I had trainers at my gym and I would just always tell them, be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Yeah. Don't fall into this trap. Don't use fitness as the platform to start being, an Instagram model or whatever, direction you want to take it in. Like, if you're going to use fitness, you use fitness for what it's worth, and I'm so glad that you said that because I think so many people get trapped in the social media and they get trapped in the likes and they get trapped in the comments and then they start falling victim to having to be accepted when it comes to what they're putting out there. Well, I put a workout video and I didn't get that many likes and comments, but when I put this type of picture out here, everybody likes it. And then that's what they fall victim to. So I'm glad that you said that and used integrity as the cornerstone of relaying that message because I feel like it's really needed, and especially for our ladies that are coming up in the fitness world to not use that as a as a as a as a crutch to try to make it seem like this is the route that you should take to try to make it in whatever
Exactly.
whatever phase. But no, I definitely appreciate that. Other than that, man, I want to say thank you. I didn't want to keep it too long. We wanted to keep these podcasts um, impact with good information, but not draw it out to where we're losing people's attention. And I think that we got a lot of good information, some insight, and some background of who Nick is, and anything that you have coming up that people can look forward to or look out for.
October actually. I can't speak on it too much as far as the platform, but I'll have a new program or programs coming out in October because I know I've been doing like my online stuff, but I'm actually transcending into something different. And so look out for that around, I would say, early to mid October. So I'm actually looking forward to that. And actually, I'll be shooting some promos for that in the next couple of weeks. But hopefully the promos will be out around the end, I would say mid to late September. We'll see how it goes. So if you are looking for different types of programs or you're trying to build your body to what I call Amazon status, then definitely check that out. It's coming and I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
That's so. That's so. Well, thank you again. Hopefully, we can work together again sometime in the future. I know I got a lot of great feedback from the lives that we've done, and I look forward to having some intense workouts with you. And thank you again for jumping on this podcast, taking the time out your day to talk to me and my platform. And other than that, guys, it's your boy DP. Do you want to close it out?
Oh gosh. I don't know. You're going to put me on the spot like that, really?
No, I'm just playing. Guys, your boy DP. Nick, thank you for jumping on. And other than that, we are out. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.